Have you ever wondered, why does Gemini never seem to run out of words? Why does Capricorn quietly climb higher and higher? Or why is Aries always impulsive? Like fire? Maybe the answer doesn't lie in their personalities, but in the intelligence the universe has programmed into them. And today, I'm going to reveal it. The mysterious IQ scores of the 12 zodiac signs. Who is truly the smartest one? This isn't just about dry numbers. This is a journey to unveil a secret, to decode why you think the way you do, why you react the way you do. Because the moment you were born, the universe imprinted a code onto your soul, a one-of-a-kind intelligence. Let's embark on this discovery together, starting from position 12. Fifth place belongs to Virgo, the bearer of the intelligence of perfection. With an average IQ of 105, a quiet yet sharp intelligence that notices every detail. If you've ever seen someone nitpicking over a typo, rearranging every pen, wiping every speck of dust, that's Virgo, the clearest proof of their intelligence. Virgo sees what others overlook, hears details others miss, spots errors no one else noticed. Those sharp eyes turn them into fixers, perfectionists, guardians of completeness. Virgo's intelligence isn't just rational smarts, but meticulousness, precision, analysis, and a relentless drive for improvement. They don't just see what's right or wrong. They see what's incomplete, what needs adjustment, what could be better. But that intelligence is also a curse, because when they see every flaw, Virgo becomes a slave to perfection, burdening themselves with an endless task of fixing. They exhaust themselves over details no one notices, constantly questioning if it's good enough, even when everything is already well polished. Sometimes, that intelligence becomes a magnifying glass, exposing even flaws that don't exist, leaving them stuck in a spiral of dissatisfaction. But it's precisely this intelligence that makes Virgo a reliable friend, a trustworthy teammate, because they never allow themselves or you to settle for mediocrity. To Virgo, everything must be polished enough, corrected enough, perfected enough, not out of fussiness, but because that's their way of showing love, dedication, and respect for the world. Fourth place belongs to Taurus, the one who carries the intelligence of steadfastness. With an average IQ of 110, an intelligence that's quiet, unassuming, and needs no proof. Taurus is intelligent in a subtle way, as someone who knows how to wait, observe, and distinguish real value from the fake over time. They don't follow trends, they don't chase the flashy, because they understand that what lasts must be tested, must be felt through every sense. This intelligence is a survival instinct, a wisdom honed through patience. Taurus doesn't like to argue, they prefer to verify. They don't believe in empty theories, they believe in what can be touched, held, felt, and possessed. Their intelligence is tied to a sense of security, material things, the tangible, not fanciful dreams. They don't jump into risks just because of a fleeting idea, because they know what's worth it and what's merely passing. Taurus is smart in protecting themselves, accumulating little by little, and building a solid foundation that no one can easily shake. But because of this, Taurus's intelligence is sometimes misunderstood as stubbornness, slowness, or a lack of flexibility. They need time to change. They need many rounds of verification before they dare to trust. They need to see with their own eyes before they open their hearts. But once Taurus trusts, once they decide, nothing can sway them. In a world of constant change, this perseverance is Taurus's unique intelligence, the wisdom of deep roots holding steady through every storm. Third place belongs to Scorpio, the secret hunter. With an average IQ of 120, an intelligence that doesn't flaunt itself but cuts sharp enough to send chills. Scorpio's intelligence isn't on the surface. It hides deep within their quiet gaze, through silent observation. They don't need you to speak. They read thoughts through glances, gestures, and every pause between words. This is emotional intelligence, intuition, an analytical power that operates like an underground radar. Scorpios intelligent in a dangerous way because they're not loud, not aggressively argumentative, yet they always know exactly who's a friend and who's a backstabber. They know not because they've heard, but because they feel, with a sense that's hard to explain yet uncannily accurate. And if they choose silence, don't mistake it for letting go. That silence is a shell for a quietly forming strategy. They don't react hastily because they wait for the right moment, and when it comes, they strike without hesitation. The challenge of Scorpio's intelligence is that it doesn't let go easily. They remember, they hold, they ruminate, replaying every detail over and over. Sometimes this intelligence becomes chains, turning them into a prisoner trapped inside their own labyrinth of doubt. They see every psychological corner of others, yet forget to find the exit for their own heart. And that is the bittersweet tragedy of an intelligence both luminous and haunting. Second place belongs to Sagittarius, the eternal seeker of knowledge. With an average IQ of 125, a type of intelligence not measured by numbers, but by the breadth of vision and the depth of their questions. Sagittarius is intelligent because they dare to doubt, dare to explore, dare to break old beliefs in search of a greater truth. To them, intelligence isn't for showing off. It's a compass, guiding them to places no one has ever set foot before. You'll see Sagittarius at their smartest when they're deep in philosophical conversations, debating the meaning of life or crafting quotes that stir the soul. Their intelligence is outward-looking, philosophical, and driven by a thirst for freedom. It's not the kind of intelligence that memorizes facts. It's learning to understand, understanding to break through, and breaking through to liberate themselves. In their world, there are no final answers, only bigger questions waiting to be explored. But the price of Sagittarius's intelligence is a constant restlessness, because every answer opens up more questions. Every new horizon draws new boundaries. Will they ever reach the ultimate understanding they yearn for? Or will they always remain a seeker, a wanderer with no end in sight? Perhaps it's the journey itself, not the destination, that is the true purpose of Sagittarius's intelligence. First place belongs to Gemini, the bearer of intelligence from two parallel worlds with an average IQ of 130, a number that even the universe itself finds intriguing. Within one body holding two identities, Gemini's intelligence is not only quick-witted, but as adaptable as the wind. As multifaceted as glass shimmering under the sun, they never stand still, constantly spinning between ideas, connections, and possibilities yet to take shape. Gemini possesses an innate linguistic and communicative intelligence, a mind programmed to piece together fragments into a complete picture. They are the first to catch an idea, to throw out a solution to a tough problem, and to turn a sad story into a charming joke. For them, words aren't just tools, they're magic, the key that unlocks doors invisible to others. But this intelligence isn't just for entertainment or debate, it's a survival weapon for a soul yearning for freedom in a world full of constraints. Gemini is intelligent, but also conflicted, because every decision comes with a small voice asking, but what if there's another possibility? They can decode the world, but the question remains, is there anyone patient enough to decode Gemini? 12th place belongs to Pisces, the gentle dreamer, with an average IQ of 75, a kind of intelligence that doesn't come to compete in logic or fight for the top spot. Pisces isn't looking for victory through arguments. They come to feel, to dream, to see the world through the eyes of the soul. Their intelligence doesn't lie in numbers, but in empathy, in their ability to perceive beauty, and in their connection to invisible depth. They see beauty where others cannot. They feel the world's pain as if it were their own. Pisces' intelligence isn't measured by IQ tests, but by the power of imagination, creativity, and belief in the unseen. They know in a mystical way, trusting intuition, dreams, and subtle signs. But that sensitivity is also a double-edged sword, making them easy to trust, easy to deceive, easy to hurt. Because they want to believe in goodness, even when the evidence says otherwise. They carry the whole world in their arms, even though their delicate shoulders can't bear all its sorrows. Pisces needs to learn to stay grounded, to protect themselves, to discern between dreams and illusions. And they need to understand that this world isn't all dreams. But dreams are still necessary to keep the heart from hardening, to preserve a piece of innocence that never fades. 11th place belongs to Aries, the fearless pioneer, with an average IQ of 80, a kind of intelligence not measured by books but by the courage to begin. Aries doesn't spend hours analyzing data or crafting complex plans. They rush out, take action, make mistakes, and learn from the very scratches they earn along the way. Their intelligence lies in their willingness to act, to fail, to take that first step, even when nothing is certain. They are smart through instinct, reflex, and a fierce determination of must do it now, without hesitation. While others are still weighing their options, Aries has already tried every path. In a world that demands innovation, Aries is the lightning bolt that breaks the path, the trailblazer who shatters the old and breaks through limits. They are the first flame to ignite the journey, even if they themselves aren't sure where it will lead. But the price of that intelligence is impatience, making them quick to give up if results aren't immediate, quick to abandon when things slow down. They tire easily, lose interest just as fast, and sometimes that very impatience turns them into the one who misses out on the final glory. Aries needs to learn perseverance, to see the bigger picture and to understand that blazing the trail is important, but steadfastness is what will truly lead them to triumph. 10th place belongs to Cancer, the one who carries the intelligence of the heart with an average IQ of 90. An intelligence not measured by formulas but by the depth of emotion. They don't need to memorize laws or formulas, yet they understand people in an instinctive, delicate, and deeply empathetic way. Cancer sees the sadness behind a smile, senses the loneliness in a crowd, and hears the words left unspoken. Their intelligence lies in their ability to care, to heal, in the quiet art of nurturing. Cancer is intelligent in the way they read between the lines, an emotional intelligence so rare that it makes them a gentle refuge for weary souls. They know when someone needs a hug, a comforting word, or a warm gaze to soothe an invisible wound. But this very intelligence makes them prone to hurt, makes them carry emotions that were never theirs to hold. They worry for everyone, care for the world, yet sometimes forget that they, too, need to be loved. When hurt, Cancer often retreats into their shell, silent, self-healing in solitude, unwilling to let anyone see their tender tears. Cancer needs to learn to set boundaries, to give without losing themselves, and to understand that caring for oneself is also a way of loving the world, because only a healthy heart can continue to embrace and spread love. 9th place belongs to Libra, the one who carries the intelligence of balance, with an average IQ of 95, an intelligence that is quiet yet refined, elusive yet present. If you've ever seen someone agonize all day just to choose a meal, or spend hours deciding whether to accept or decline an invitation, chances are they're a Libra. But don't mistake that hesitation for a lack of intelligence, because that is precisely a form of intelligence that's very Libra. They see the world from many angles, so it's never easy to pin them down to a single answer. Libra's intelligence lies in their ability to see all sides of an issue, to avoid rushing to conclusions, to refrain from judgment, because they can grasp the reasoning behind both perspectives. That's why Libra excels as a mediator, a negotiator, the one who keeps peace in a room full of conflict. They understand emotions, they understand motives, and they know how to say just enough so that everyone feels heard. This intelligence isn't sharp or explosive, but soft, adaptable, tactful, sometimes hard to notice, yet absolutely essential. But the price of Libra's intelligence is hesitation, because seeing too many possibilities can trap them in a maze of choices. And sometimes, not deciding is itself a missed opportunity. Libra needs to learn to trust their intuition, to dare to take risks, and to understand that sometimes there is no perfect choice, only the most fitting choice for that moment. 8th place belongs to Leo, the born leader with an average IQ of 100, a kind of intelligence not measured by tests or degrees. Leo's intelligence lies in their ability to make others believe, follow, and stay loyal. They're not the bookworm type of smart, but emotionally intelligent, socially adept, and naturally inspiring. They read a crowd as easily as reading an open book, understanding human psychology and knowing exactly how to touch the heart. Leo knows when a word of encouragement is needed, when a pat on the back matters, or when a powerful speech can lift an entire room. This intelligence is the courage to take the lead, the ability to keep the flame alive for those who are close to giving up. They don't rely on cunning or manipulation. They win people over with their charisma, their confidence, their natural glow. That's why they effortlessly become the center of attention without even trying. But the shadow side of Leo's intelligence is their ego. When their self-belief blinds them to feedback, when they refuse to change, they can lock themselves inside their own kingdom, a place no one dares to enter, isolating themselves in power and pride. Leo needs to learn to share the spotlight, to listen more, and to understand that a king cannot rule a kingdom if no one is left in it. 7th place belongs to Aquarius, the one ahead of their time with an average IQ of 102, a kind of intelligence like a radio tuning into the future. Aquarius's intelligence is entirely unique because they think in ways no one has thought of, see connections no one else notices, and ask questions no one dares to ask. They don't accept templates, they're not satisfied with old answers. Inside them is a constant urge to break, to rebuild, to innovate. Aquarius's intelligence is creative, independent, innovative, and sometimes weird in the eyes of others. They might be seen as eccentric in a crowd, as the only one asking a contrarian question, as the one holding onto an idea no one believes in. But 10 years later, that idea becomes the trend. That ideal becomes the new normal. And Aquarius, the one who once felt out of place, turns out to be the pioneer. They have the ability to see the future, even though sometimes they themselves can't explain how they know. But the price of that intelligence is loneliness. When you see farther, it's hard to find companions. When you think differently, it's hard to find those who understand. It's the quiet solitude of a mind that's always ahead. Aquarius needs to learn the patience to connect, to listen, to embrace their difference as a gift, not a burden. Because sometimes it's exactly that strangeness that becomes the light guiding those who follow. 6th place belongs to Capricorn, the silent mountain climber, with an average IQ of 103, a kind of intelligence that doesn't shine brightly, but glows steadily, like a lantern guiding the way in the dark. Capricorn's intelligence doesn't come from sudden flashes of inspiration, but from patience, perseverance, and steady progress, even when no one is cheering them on. They don't need applause, they don't need praise, because the journey of conquering itself is their motivation. While others are still hesitating, Capricorn has quietly gone further. Capricorn's intelligence lies in their ability to see far ahead, to calculate, stay steadfast, never rushing into every opportunity, but carefully evaluating and choosing the most secure one. They're not the type of brilliant genius, but they're reliable, capable of building an entire empire through sheer diligence. Every step Capricorn takes has a reason. Every failure is a silent lesson that makes them stronger. They don't skip steps, they don't chase superficial glamour, they quietly lay each brick, one by one. But that intelligence can sometimes be stubborn, placing more trust in experience than in intuition, more in rules than in creativity. They need to learn to listen to their heart, to dare to take risks, to dare to step off the safe path. But whether slow or cautious, never underestimate Capricorn. They may not be the fastest, not the smartest, but in the end, they're the ones standing at the highest peak. Because patience is the most enduring form of intelligence. You see, each zodiac sign carries its own kind of intelligence, a gift that the universe bestows. Some are quick-witted, some are deep thinkers, some are rational, some are emotional, each with a role, a way of contributing, a path that's uniquely theirs. It's this very difference that completes the mosaic of the world. Don't be disheartened if you're not at the top of the list, because you don't need to be better than others, you only need to fully live your true self. Intelligence doesn't only lie in the right answer, but in how you love, dream, endure, and dare to keep going when everything gets tough. If you've ever wondered, where am I intelligent? Look into your heart, into how you treat others, how you trust, and how you hope. Because true intelligence isn't just knowledge, it's the ability to turn knowledge into love, into action, into meaning. Thank you for joining me on this journey, a journey of looking back at ourselves through the lens of the stars. And remember, the universe chose you the very moment you were born to carry a special message to this world. I'll see you again in the next discoveries under this starry sky.